Welcome to another video, folks. In this video, I will be explaining what a business plan is and what are the contents of a business plan in detail. A business plan is a guide that outlines goals for your business and the steps which you need to take to achieve those objectives. The most important aspect of a business plan are the financial forecast, which includes a forecast cash budget, an income statement and statement of financial position, but it also includes some basic costing. For example, how much it would cost you to produce a product, to serve a dish in a restaurant, for example, and what is going to be a break-even point, etc. However, it should also include overviews of business strategy, what milestones you need to take, and what are the responsibilities of the owners or the management to achieve those goals. Let's go to the contents page of a business plan, where I will explain each step briefly, and then I'll show you an actual business plan which I have written for one of my clients in the past. The first thing which you will see in any business report is an executive summary. This executive summary essentially is a business plan on one page. You summarize all of the most important contents of an of a business report, so that if somebody wants to understand the whole business plan, they should be able to do so just by reading one page. And most of the executive decisions are made only by reading executive summary. It is a very good skill to be able to create a very good executive summary. Section 1 is on introduction, and it can be a very brief introduction, maybe just a paragraph saying what this business plan is about, what is the purpose of writing this business plan, who is the audience for this business plan. Section 2 is company summary, which can be a part of introduction, because you can introduce the business which is preparing this business plan with an introduction, or could have a separate section on that. So it could say what the company is, what the business is, if the business is currently in operation. If it's a business plan for a new business, then you can explain what the business is about, who will own the business, who else would be required to run the business. For example, if you are starting a restaurant, how many chefs and sous chefs to be required, and how many people who would be serving, and personal plan, the detailed personal plan, how much you would pay them, for example, and in company location, how much space is going to require, and for restaurant, for example, how many tables would be there, and what would be the occupancy of the place. Another very important aspect of the business plan is what products you intend to sell in your business. So for restaurants, for example, you could have a whole menu where you could describe the prices of the dishes. Or if you're any other business, you should give a good detail of those products. If these are the products, if this is a product-based company, then sourcing of the product is going to be an important thing. For service industries, sourcing usually is based on the personnel who would be offering their services. But if you're buying and selling something, then who is going to be your supplier is the key to understand the business. And you can see that sourcing has become a major problem in nowadays due to all these shipment issues. In market and industry analysis, and there are two important players, and those are the suppliers in the market and the customers in the market. So you should explain in detail, for example, what is the competition in the market, who the customers are, and what is their demographic, ethnicity, for example, and how you define your customers. That is also must be included. So section 5 is on strategic positioning and alliance, and the first part of that is competitive edge, and the second part of this is strategic alliance. Strategic positioning and alliance could be part of your business plan if you think you can work with your suppliers, which would make your business successful. In this case, this business plan was made for a person whose father is already running a same wholesale business in North London, and he was opening up the same business in the South London. So there was an alliance possible, where they could share the delivery costs, where they could order together, where they could get products from each other on credit, for example. And one very important thing in a business plan, which must be given, is what makes your business different than other businesses. What is the strong point, which is called a competitive edge? What is the quality of your business or the owners, which would enable business to steal customers from other suppliers, other businesses in the market? So that should be explained very clearly. The sixth part of this business plan is sales and marketing strategy, where one would explain in detail how they intend to sell their products. So there are quite a few points here which have been given, and the first one is competitive pricing. If you are able to charge less to your customers, for whatever reason, maybe you can source products cheaper than your competitors, or if you can produce products cheaper than your competitors, then that's something which you can utilize. Having a full-time sales representative who goes from different shops and different customers to engage with the customers, that's one strategy. Website and online business is quite a common feature nowadays in a business. Stock catalog. If you go to Argos, you can find a stock catalog. I think they are abolishing it now, but many wholesalers, they do have stock catalogs which they send to the different shops, their customers who would buy from them. Delivery to customer is a facility, credit facilities, social media presence, and social media marketing. There could be many other aspects of your business's sales strategy which you can adopt. And this brings us to our final and the most important section of a business plan, which is financial forecast. And then the sections, I think the most important aspect of your financial forecast is assumptions which you need to make. These assumptions are quite a few. For example, the rent of what would be the rent of the place? What is the area of the place? What is the rent of the place you need? And how much you're going to pay to your managers and staff? How much is going to cost you to buy raw material or the products? How you calculate your gross profit? How you calculate your markup? And what is going to be your business rate? What is going to be the cost of your utilities? Anything which you can think of which has financial implications should be given in your assumptions, because these are the assumptions. We haven't started the business yet. We are assuming that it would cost us this much to do this. And then comes the startup summary. Startup summary is a list of the expenditures, capital expenditures, which a business would do at the start of the business, which could be, for example, buying a building, or if you're not buying the building, then renting the building, shelving, machinery, fridge and freezers, forklift trucks, any expense, fixed expense which you can think of should be included in your startup summary. So these are basically this is your capital employed. We discussed this in one of our videos on return on capital employed, or this is our fixed budget, fixed capital investment, which I've discussed in one of my articles in expenses. And then this leads us to our cash budget. I made some other videos on budgeting as well, which you should look into. And it follows the same pattern. Cash budget is a monthly budget. So this is your first year, each month's budget, which shows step by step what are you going to do, how much money you are going to spend on what, and how your sales are going to start, how your sales are going to increase month by month, and list all of the inflows and outflows of your business. This is the most important aspect of any business plan, which is a cash budget, and it's a monthly cash budget. Many business plan ignore this aspect, and I don't understand why. Because if you want to understand a business, you need to look at their monthly budget, and you will know everything about that business. And I'll show you a version of the cash budget as well. This should have your opening balances and closing balances. Closing balance is a very important aspect of a cash budget, and it tells the investors or the owners when a business is in financial trouble, and that is a very critical information which is required by the management, owners, or the investors of the business. An income statement should be created, forecast income statement, which would give us the summary of all of the sales and expenses which we will incur in the first year. And then on the basis of first year income statement, we can apply the growth to second year and third year, or maybe up to 5 years if you need to, and we can create those figures for the income statement as well. So first year is a must, but you can extend it to year 2 and year 3 as well if you require. And then a statement of financial position, which would give us a detail of the closing assets and liabilities and capital of the business after 1 year, and it could be for year 2 and year 3 as well. A conclusion must be given where you can request on the basis of the findings that the business will be successful, therefore money should be invested or a loan should be granted. And then appendix should have all the supporting documents. For example, you can put all of the references which you have used for your research, and this would include, for example, where you are renting the place, what is the location of that, how the rent has been advertised, and what are your calculations, detailed calculations. Although most of the calculation in business plan should be given within the body of the report rather than in appendix. So if you look at the executive summary, you can see that this executive summary summarizes the business plan on one page. It gives introduction, its purpose, what are the SWOT analysis, a very important analysis when you're summarizing a business plan. Opportunities would bring in why a business is needed and why the business would be successful. Threats would be what could endanger the plans, what could cause our business plan to go to be invalid. Strengths, what makes our business more stronger to be successful in the competition, and then what could be the weaknesses of the business. It should give a summary of how the plans will be executed and what are the highlights, financial highlights, and usually these are the results which an investor is looking for. So far as an example, in this case, it says what will be the profit in year 1, in year 2, and year 3, and so on. And then we have introduction, objectives of the business plan. We can see the summary, company ownership, and management team. So this is the personal plan, basically, that how much money we are going to pay to our staff, and what will be the composition of our staff. Personal plan explains who will be needed, company location, products. We have sourcing and market and industry analysis given. You can see a link is given for a claim which has been made in the business plan. You can see strategic and position and alliances, what the competitive edge is, sales and marketing strategy, why do we have a competitive edge, how we are keeping our GP low and then increasing, and what is our marketing strategy given in detail, how our sales are calculated. That is a very important document, should be given. And sales figure, you cannot just come up with a sales figure. It should be based on how many customers you will have, how much spend would be per customer, and then how the total sales would be there. And then I mentioned startup summary. You have cash budget, very important aspect of your business plan. And then you can see your income statement, statement of financial position, graphics as well given. So I hope this makes it clear that what a business plan is and how it should be structured. For every business, a business plan would look different, but this should give you an idea on the contents and what you need to do to write a business plan. So I hope you like the video and you will prepare a business plan for your business in future.